Good evening, folks. This is Deb Delapiana, and this is your Shut the Fuck Up, wrapped around a short take. Let's put it that way. So I have been, buried in reading since this last round of indictments, okay? And I've read some pretty disturbing things. And to say that I'm just slightly pissed off would be an understatement. So I'm going to start with my list of people I'm pissed off with. First of all, anyone who continues to think that MAGA Trump followers are going to come around. Somebody posted today that they're starting to come around and understand that he's a criminal. Shut the fuck up, really. These people are in a cult, and they are totally incapable of any kind of rational thought or any kind of independent thought. They swallow whole all of the pablum that Donald Trump feeds them. They are continuing to send him money, a grifter, a criminal. Let's talk about who Donald Trump is. He is a man who has been found guilty of sexual abuse of E. Jean Carroll by a jury. And by the way, Judge Lewis Kaplan also called him a rapist and said that by all of the terms that rape is, described, he committed rape when he did what he did to E. Jean Carroll. Okay? He's a fucking rapist. Okay? And he's got 24 women behind E. Jean Carroll saying the same thing. He has been found guilty, his family, his organization, of freaking tax evasion and cooking his books. He has been indicted in a documents case that is a vast case that is going to take time to prosecute because of the nature of the material he stole. And he stole that shit. He did not have a right to that stuff. Okay? He has now been charged for the events leading up to and including January 6th. And we're still waiting for Fani Willis. Okay? And I almost forgot, Alvin Bragg. He's been charged, indicted there, 34 counts. His trial starts in March. The documents case starts in May. And hopefully this latest case from Jack Smith is going to start sooner than that. That all of the MAGA people and all of this, let me just say this. All of the senators and Congress people with an R next to their name, they are all totally behind him. Okay? Nobody is pushing back on him. They're all defending him every time he's charged as if this is a witch hunt. This isn't a fucking witch hunt. Okay? There are mountains of evidence against this guy. And there are at least 6 unindicted co-conspirators in this January 6th case that they're going to try to flip. Because if not, then they're probably going to be charged with him. And they're not done yet. I don't believe for a nanosecond that they're finished yet. That's the first thing. But don't expect MAGA people to, come around anytime soon. They're not going to. He's going to go to the bitter end with them. So stop saying that. All right? Don't even bother talking to them. They're not worth talking to. There are other people you could be talking to. To try to convince them is a moot point. All right? That's number one. Number two, if you are a Republican voter and you're going to vote Republican straight down party line because that's what you do every election cycle, shame on you. You don't love this fucking country. You don't care about the Constitution. And you're just fine with a guy who is a criminal. Okay? I'm going to call him what he is. All right? Yes, he's presumed innocent until proven guilty. He's a criminal. He's been a criminal from before his political days. All right, he's a grifter, he's a liar, and that's been proven. 30,573 documented lies in just 4 years. Okay, he mishandled totally on purpose for political gain the COVID pandemic, resulting in 300,000 unnecessary deaths in this country. You're all okay with that because you're a Republican. If you're going to tell me you love this country, you can shut the fuck up, okay? Because you don't. You don't. Number 3, I read articles out there all day long about how Donald Trump is sure to be the nominee for the presidency on the GOP side because people find him entertaining. Is that right? That's a unique word for a lout like Donald Trump. I find him revolting. I find him obnoxious. I find him rude. I find him disgusting, but I do not find him entertaining. If you find Donald Trump entertaining, it's because you are a cisgendered white male or a cisgendered white female who is privileged, a Karen, as it were. Okay? You don't care about the women who are of the age of still giving birth. You don't care about their rights being returned to them. You don't care about any of that. You don't care that women are being totally controlled in this country to the point of the GOP getting involved in people's contraception. If you think that's what the role is of government, you're out of your fucking minds, in addition to being revolting. You find Donald Trump revolting as if this is another episode of The Apprentice. He is a disgusting, horrifying human being who physically violated a woman in a public place. He is a rapist. Period. When you stick your fingers in a woman's vagina in a forceful manner, that is not just coming on to a woman. That is rape by all accounts. He is a revolting individual who has insinuated through his MAGA followers in the House and the Senate, insinuated themselves in people's personal lives so that a parent can't even help their transgender child in some states. Kids can't get their treatment that they need. You think that's the role of government? Shut the fuck up. It isn't. You're all the people complaining that we need less government. What could be more intrusive than people who spend time in your bedroom with you or that spend time making decisions for your children when they don't even know the first thing about what they're talking about? You find Donald Trump entertaining. On what fucking possible level could that be? As he marauds his way around the country, taking people off the voting rolls, complaining about this one, complaining about that one, protecting his minions in the House and the Senate who are anti-Semites and white nationalists, dining with white nationalists and white supremacists like Yeezy and Nicholas Fuentes, and then claiming he doesn't know them, just like he didn't know Julian Assange either. And as we're finding out, he most certainly did. You find him entertaining. Well, you know what? You must like bad punchlines then, because he's not funny. He's not funny to the majority of Americans, because believe me, no matter what you think, MAGA and the Republicans and the conservatives in this country are not the majority. They never have been the majority. They never will be the majority. What they do is win when the Democratic voters don't bother to go to the polls. So let me talk to you last. If you're thinking of sitting this one out because it's just another election cycle, then guess what? You are just as much to blame if Donald Trump is elected by your non-action, your inaction, your refusal to exercise your constitutional right and your civic duty to protect this country, just like the politicians are supposed to be protecting it. You are not, you are not absolved from taking part in government, citizens. So if you are a Democratic voter and you don't bother to vote, know that you should lose tons of sleep over the fact that you are responsible for having Donald Trump reelected. You are just as responsible as the morons going to the polls and putting a freaking bullet color next to his name. Wake up. But please, don't come around here telling me Donald Trump is amusing. I don't find him amusing. As a gay person, as a woman with a transgender child, he isn't fucking amusing. He isn't funny. He's loathsome. I'll talk to you all later.